consistency in pay and your ability to budget that pay is improved, or just like the amount of money that you're getting goes a longer way?
The amount of money I'm getting goes a longer way, and the budgeting, because I have to. Because I'm getting paid every 2 weeks, as opposed to making cash every night. You know, like I can't just go in and pick up a shift at work and walk out with an extra $100. Like if I pick up a shift, then it's just on my paycheck.
Right.
Depending on, the pay period. So
Right.
And I also, if worst comes to worst, I can always pick up a shift at the club and, make a little extra money that way.
Yeah.
If it's, if things are tight and I was bad with budgeting, because I still am sometimes. Like maybe I'll indulge my son a little bit too much, or I see something shiny that I have to have and I buy it without really thinking that, like, oh shit, I've still got a week and a half before I get my next paycheck. So I'm getting better at it. It's still a work in progress, but I'm better now than I was this time last year.
Okay. On that same train of thought, for me, I feel that I have digressed in my financial life. Well, and it's interesting because I'm working almost twice as much. So last year this time I was working 4 days a week, closing the bar 4 nights a week, Thursday through Saturday. The best shifts that you can have in a bar, a comedy club, for sure.
Absolutely.
And I was making great money. And now I'm opening the bar 2 days a week, closing the bar 1 day a week, and I'm working at a print shop 4 days a week.
Oh.
So Monday through Thursday I'm working at the print shop, and then I'm opening Thursday, Friday, and closing on Saturday at Liquid, and I'm making half the amount of money.
Oh shit.
And it's super interesting because at the time when I made the decision to switch, it was a quality of life type thing that I wanted to not have to close the bar every night that I worked.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a girl who has a younger child, and I wanted to be able to be more. I wanted to be able to participate more in that area of my life.
Present. Yeah, absolutely.
And it was very difficult to be present in that relationship when I'm closing the bar 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
And she's working a full-time job. She's got her own other business stuff going on top of her day job,
right?
Which is all like super awesome for her. But I wanted to be more present, like you were saying, and that's it's weird whenever you go from having a decent chunk of cash every night that you work to not a lot of cash except for twice a week, and then having that lifestyle for the last 3 years of cash on hand pretty consistently. I still have not gotten into a flow of budgeting my money very well.
Yeah, no, it's hard to make that transition. Like the first couple months that I was working the new job, it was difficult because I got the job, and then so I live in Meridian, and the job is downtown, and my orientation day, the brakes went out on my car, and it was going to be a little while before I had the money to fix them because I was waiting on my income tax return. Thankfully, my mother lives downtown close to where I work, so I just stayed with her because I was able to just walk to and from work. It was 15-20 minutes to get there, whatever.
Right.
And so that helped out. But if I hadn't had that initially, I would have had to quit. Like otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to take an Uber every day. So like that initial transition was, it was rocky there for a little while because I still had to pay my bills at home. Because I still lived there, I just wasn't staying there. So like I couldn't just say, "Oh well, take care of my portion of the rent for a month." I'm not, can't do that. So it was definitely tough the first couple of months. But then you get into a groove, and again, knowing how much I'm going to make every 2 weeks is nice. I get PTO, paid time off, so like even if I have to miss a day, I can still get paid for that day as long as I have the PTO,
the credit
accrued.
or whatever available. Yeah.
So it might take a minute, but you'll figure it out. Like you'll get into a system where it'll be easier to manage. Because I worked in restaurants my entire adult life, so like this was a big switch to do that. It's not an easy thing, especially at first.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too. Like going back to a year ago, I was driving an old pickup truck. Not the greatest gas mileage, but I basically live 5 minutes from work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's super close to downtown from here. And so I was driving that truck, and it was totally fine. Then the truck broke down, and so I was Ubering quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I had cash pretty regularly, so it wasn't a problem to just make sure I was putting money into my account to pay all of the Ubers and the rest of my bills. But then I just bought this new car. It's a 2006 nicest, newest car I've ever owned. And I was like super stoked, and I'm like, cool, yeah, and the insurance just twice as much. I just paid the truck off, so at least I don't have to continue to pay for a truck that's broke down.
That's true.
It's great.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for it. But yeah, it's just crazy to think about the dynamics that change so swiftly. You know? I'll get there. Do what you got to do, or you're burnt. You know,
pretty much.
Like I'm not gonna get that car repossessed. I don't want that kind of shit on my credit. You know,
that's no fun.
But like we've been on a tangent for a little while, which is fine. But I'm coming back to the 5-minute video with Mathew McConaughey. He said something about getting back into like some of the healthier states of mind, body, and whatever. He was talking about cutting away the alternatives. Like for me, what I would need to do to cut away alternatives is like quit spending money on shit that I don't need, you know?
Yeah.
Like this is I'm not super stoked to admit it out loud, but like throwing money into that stupid touch tab lotto machine at work is the vein of my existence right now.
Yeah.
And it's whatever. Like I just need to not do that, you know? So cutting it's not an option. Has to be my decision, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have anything on your mind in the direction that we're going right now?
Any like cutting stuff out, or
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been doing that. You know, like I'm not. I don't spend recklessly anymore. I mean, like I was when I would make. You know, I'd come home with $200 from where I'd go out for a few drinks, and next thing I know, I've got $170. You know, like things like that. So I've already been cutting out the like erroneous spending. One thing I could probably stand to do is eat at home more as opposed to, because I generally only cook when my son is over because I don't want to just feed him the same bullshit that I eat, because that's not good for a 5-year-old. I can't fill him up on Jack in the Box and expect that he's going to be a productive child. You know what I mean? So like I'll do like veggie pasta or chicken and corn, or and then in those days I'm eating at home. Like I made him dinner, what was it, Wednesday night, and I ate leftovers for like 3 days after that, which was nice. Yeah. So that's probably something I could do more of, but when I'm out during the day, like if I'm out all the time and I don't have a chance to get home in between doing stuff, it's a little more difficult. But I just have to have a little more willpower as far as that goes. Like cutting out like the fast food, or like Jimmy John's or Subway or whatever. Yeah. And do you think that like it has less to do with willpower and more to do with the investment ahead of time? How do you mean? Like so meal prep's a thing, right? Yeah. So if you invested the time, say, on Sunday night to meal prep for the next 3 days, and then on Wednesday meal prep for the next 3 days, or prep your meal the night before you go out or whatever, that's what I do generally every night whenever I'm working in the morning. Is I'll prepare my meal that I'm going to have for lunch before I even go to bed. Right. And then in the morning I'll just like make some waffles or some scrambled eggs or whatever and have a quick breakfast before I take off. Obviously I'm having coffee too. Well,
And so it's crazy how much better I feel when I'm eating well consistently throughout the week, but also how much that saves me money too.
Yeah.
Like you don't think about how much money you're spending when I don't think about how much money I'm spending when I'm going to Jack in the Box or Jimmy John's or Funky Taco, which is amazing. I love it. All of those things are not really Jack in the Box, but there was a time.
I did think about that today though. Like I was going to go to Blimpie and get a sandwich, and then I saw that like the sandwiches were like $10 because you can't get half a sandwich. Like it's not enough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You're just teasing yourself.
Yeah.
At that
so I was like, all right, well I'm not going to get it. And then I went to Jack in the Box and I got a chicken sandwich, fries, and a drink for $5.30. So I was all right, I'll do that instead because it was cheaper. It was the cheaper option.
Yeah.
So I at least made that.
Well, it was cheaper today.
Yeah. For right now, because I knew that I had to run after work. I had to run errands with my mother and then come here, so I didn't have a chance to go home and like make a sandwich or have a bowl of cereal or whatever, and then come out. So today I made that decision, but I was at least like, all right, well this is going to be cheaper this way, so I'll save. Even though I'm eating out, I'm saving money, which is the kind of the way I rationalize it to myself.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Whenever he was talking about cutting away, it reminded me of an Anthony Robbins quote, who I think Will Smith actually quotes too. I don't even know if it's fair to say it's their quotes. It's a real thing. It's about making decisions and
how parents just don't understand.
Oh, I don't.
It's a Will Smith song.
That went over my head. 90s pop culture, man. I should know these things. So, making a decision, the word decisions, the root of that word is incision, and incision means to cut away.
Yes.
And so whenever you think about decisions, when you actually make a decision, you're cutting away the alternatives.
Right.
So the decision to say, I'm going to do meal prep on these days of the week, if I made that decision, then for it to be an actual decision, what I'd need to have it be is that going to fast food is not an alternative.
Yeah.
Like it's not if I feel like it this day, I don't have to worry about it. The decision is this. And not to say anything negative about going out fast food. Like we're adults and we're allowed to indulge ourselves sometimes.
That's why
like
we work
moderation.
So hard.
Yeah. Like seriously. Like I think that's so true. We work our asses off, and I think that it's great as long as we don't mistake that movement for progress.
Yeah.
Like we could go around and figure eights all day long, but that doesn't mean we're going anywhere.
That's true. Yeah.
So we do work hard. And what we put the effort into work on needs to be getting us to where we want to go, I think.
Yeah.
And so making those decisions that are going to get us to where we want to go is really important.
Agreed.
Anyways, I don't really know. There's so much shit that we could talk about, and we will talk about, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think that we can probably wrap this up. So thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Right back at you.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Came to an abrupt end on that episode, but we're going to be coming back at you next week with a more refined show format, a little bit more preparation. It's our first episode, guys. Please come and check us out again next week. Laters.